The Indians finished off a 10-game road trip in style, sweeping the last-place Twins. Today starts the final homestand of the season with a great opportunity to finish the year in second place in the AL Central. The Tribe's last stand starts against the Mariners, and David Huff makes his bid for a spot in the 2012 starting rotation. Next on Sports Time Ohio. It's an overcast evening in downtown Cleveland as the Seattle Mariners come to town for a makeup game, a one-off, and then the Mariners head to Minnesota, and the White Sox come to town tomorrow. Good evening and welcome into our broadcast. Along with Rick Manning, I'm Al Pulowski. Tribe and Mariners today for the final time this season, Rick. And when you look at these two teams, well, you see one thing for sure with the Tribe now. Jim Thome, quite an influence in the Tribe clubhouse, and maybe an influence with Asdrubal Cabrera and his batting stance.
Well, anytime you are going to copy a future Hall of Famer, good things have to happen. When you look at Cabrera in Minnesota, a lot like the Jim Thome stance. Check it out. And guess what happens? 4 straight hits. Unbelievable. So Cabrera right there. And I mean, that's very, very similar. And he needed something like that. He was on an 0-for-20 streak, and now he has turned it around. 4 for 5 with 4 singles, a couple of runs scored, and you can see 0-for-20. So he's happy. He may go right back up there today with the same batting stance. I don't blame him if he does.
We're going to have to watch for that for sure. He's batting third today for the Tribe. On the mound, it's a couple of left-handers, Furbush against Huff. And when you look at this pitching matchup, David Huff is looking, of course, to solidify a spot in the rotation next year. And the pitching matchup brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today.
Well, you can see Charlie Furbush, 2-6 with the Seattle Mariners. He came over from the Detroit Tigers in that trade, 3-9 on the year with a 4.86. Now, David Huff, he has lost, by the way, Furbush his last 5 games. David Huff, on the other hand, he's on a 3-game losing streak. And last week in Texas, the ball was elevated a little bit, and the Texas Rangers, an awesome offensive lineup. They hit him around the ballpark pretty hard. 2-run home run right there. He's going to have to get the ball down, stay ahead in the count, and really, go to his key, the curveball and the changeup, and use his fastball for strikes.
So it's Huff against Furbush today. 1 game against the Seattle Mariners. It's all coming up next, and it's all right here on Sports Time Ohio. Back here in downtown Cleveland at Progressive Field as the Indians get set to battle the Seattle Mariners here for 1 game, and then the Chicago White Sox come to town tomorrow for a doubleheader, and Seattle will hit the road and head to Minnesota. It's been raining on and off throughout today, but right now we're getting ready to start as David Huff is on the hill. Let's take a look at the lineup that he'll be facing today for manager Eric Wedge and the Seattle Mariners. It'll start off with Ichiro in right field, then Rodriguez, Carp, Olivo, Seager, who has had a great season against the Indians. It's been only 3 games, but 10 for 13. Pena's the DH today. Then Alex Liddy gets the start at third base, the rookie, followed by Trayvon Robinson, and former Indian Chris Jimenez is in left.
David Huff on the mound, making his ninth start of the year. He is 2-5 and a 3.40. He has lost his last 3 starts. He's going to try and turn it around and come back. Although in his career, he is 0-2 against the Seattle Mariners with an 8.64. His last start came right here in Progressive Field. That was back on August 21st of 2009. So it's been a while since he last pitched against the Seattle Mariners. Let's take a look at the Indians' defense, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country and watching on the Armed Forces Network. It's Duncan, Sizemore, and Fukudome in the outfield. Chisenhall, Cabrera, Donald, and Santana on the infield with Lou Marson behind the plate.
And the umpires for today's game, David Rackley calling the balls and strikes, Jeff Nelson at first base, Marty Foster at second, Bill Welke is at third. And Eric Wedge back in town for one game as the Seattle Mariners, a makeup game here with the Tribe. In his first season as manager with Seattle. So Ichiro Suzuki to lead it off against David Huff. And he'll take strike one from David. .64 degrees at first pitch here in downtown Cleveland. Ichiro serves that one to right. Fukudome will play it out of bounds for a base hit.
Well, serves it is about right. This guy is a singles master. Second in the league. That's 147 singles for him this year. And you can see he can hit a ball. He picked that one right up off the ground because he has that movement running out to first base. So he will start it off with a single.
And always a threat to steal. 40 stolen bases this year for Ichiro. Now Luis Rodriguez takes strike one.
Yeah, this is a makeup game for the April 15th rainout for the Seattle Mariners coming in here. And remember a couple of years ago, I think it was 2007, if I'm not mistaken, it took 4 months to make up. Remember they came up
the snow game.
The snow game that we were snowed out there, and we ended up going to Milwaukee to play the Angels. But all 4 games were snowed out against the Mariners, and we finally made up the last game when we went to Seattle, and we were the home team against them out in Seattle. They had to come back 3 different times, and that's when Eric Wedge was the manager here.
One and two now to Luis Rodriguez, who over his last 6 games is batting .412. He's been around for a little while. Signed as a 16-year-old by the Minnesota Twins back in June of '97. One and two here to Rodriguez with Ichiro at first base. Nobody out in the first inning. This is the first of a 9-game, 7-day homestand for the Tribe. Final homestand of the season, right?
Yes, it is. Winding it down. A couple of doubleheaders mixed in. One tomorrow night, a day-night doubleheader, and also one Saturday against the Minnesota Twins. This is has all the looks of a 10 o'clock B game out in spring training, doesn't it?
Yeah, you've got a lot of, especially when you look at Seattle's lineup, they've got a lot of call-ups that are in the lineup tonight. And Rodriguez works the count full. He was originally down 0-2. We'll see if Ichiro sets sail from first base here with the full count. And Suzuki's running. Rodriguez hits it high in the air to shallow left. Duncan makes the catch. One out here in the first inning. Well, let's take a look at today's injury report, brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. So we get a look at that Tribe injury report. And, Rick, it's been tough all season long for the Indians. Always pretty well occupied.
Well, it certainly has this year. Josh Tomlin's going to, in between games, make a little start out there to see if he'll be able to pitch on Saturday. Simulated game tomorrow in between the games of the doubleheader.
It would be great to get Josh back.
I think he wants to get back for himself as well, just for that mental outlook and wanting to play.
Strike one to Mike Karp, hitting third in manager Eric Wedge's lineup today. Quickly, it's 0-2, but a guy like Josh Tomlin, who really had a nice season here, Rick, you want to finish that on a good note. You'd like to finish that healthy.
Well, if he could do that, that's what he's trying to do. You know, just like Trevor Crowe did. He came back and he's had some impact in the September. That helps his mental outlook to the game.
This could be a double play, but instead just one at second base as Suzuki is erased. That'll go 4-6. 2 outs now with the runner at first. And for more on Josh Tomlin, let's sit down and check in with Katie Witham. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Al. I did get a chance to speak with Josh Tomlin in the clubhouse earlier. He told me he got some work in the bullpen lately. He simulated 2 innings 2 days ago, and he's really surprised how good he feels. He really hasn't had any effects. The only soreness he feels is that good soreness that you feel after not throwing for a couple days. They will simulate 3 innings tomorrow. That will be the 3rd game of the day, as Manny Actus said. But expect to see him start one of those games in the doubleheader on Saturday.
All right, Katie. So there's your Tomlin update. And Miguel Olivo batting cleanup. Takes strike one from David Huff with 2 outs and a runner on first. And quickly it's 0-2. Now 1-2 to Miguel Olivo, who has 60 runs batted in this year. That's by far the most in today's starting lineup. You've got Suzuki with 43, Karp with 38, and then of the final 6, nobody has more than 14 in the starting lineup today.
Well, that's why they're last in the league in runs scored. They've only scored 517 as a team. But, you know, when you look at Olivo, he leads the team in home runs and RBIs, and that would be the first time ever that a catcher has ever led in both categories in that organization. It's happened to only 3 catchers during the expansion era in '61, and 2 of them happen to be Indians. Johnny Romano did it back in '62, and Victor Martinez in '07.
Olivo sends that one into the seats. Drizzle now falling here. As we said, it's been raining on and off all day today in downtown Cleveland. There's some of the fans bundled up a little bit. The good news is that temperatures are in the 60s. It's at least not in the 40s like we've seen sometimes here, especially back in April. And a swing and a miss. So David Huff with his first strikeout. The Mariners down in the first inning without scoring. Indians coming to bat next. And the Indians will look to see if they can reach Charlie Furbush, who gets the start today for Seattle. Little improvisation with the headgear for the rain. Here's the Indian starting lineup, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. It goes Fukudome, Donald, Cabrera, then Santana, Hafner, and Duncan, who's been on a tear here in the month of September, followed by Sizemore, Chisenhall, and Lou Marson.
Charlie Furbush is making his first career start against the Indians. He has made one appearance in his career, and he went over to Seattle in the trade that they made earlier this year. Pfister went from Seattle over to the Detroit Tigers and has done a terrific job. But Furbush has lost his last 5 starts, so he's looking to get on the winning train some way, shape, or form. He is 0-5 on the road this year.
Kosuke Fukudome steps in. He'll lead it off for the Tribe here. And he takes strike one from Charlie Furbush. Fukudome hitting better against lefties than righties for the Tribe. 296 against left-handers, 259 against righties. Quickly, it's 0-2. One and two now to Kosuke Fukudome. And will be a free agent at the end of the year. He checks his swing, but the home plate umpire says he went too far. David Rackley rings him up, and Furbush has his first strikeout.
Well, you check it out, and he did. He wanted to check his swing. He couldn't on the breaking ball, and you can see he goes easily on that pitch. Let's take a look at the Home Depot Seattle defense this afternoon. It's Jimenez in left, Robinson in center, Ichiro in right, Liddy at third, Rodriguez at short, Seager at second, Carpers at first, Olivo behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot. And it's starting to come down a little bit now.
Yeah. Rain has definitely picked up. Jason Donald steps in. And he cracks his bat, but has a base hit to left. Jason Donald has pulverized left-handed pitching, now 19 for 50 against him this year.
Well, that pitch is down in the strike zone. Looked like he hit it a little bit off the end of the bat. Sounded like he cracked his bat, but found the hole between short and third. So he will get the first knock of the ball game.
So he's aboard now for Asdrubal Cabrera. One out here in the first inning. And he hits that one high and deep to left field. Back goes Jimenez looking up. It is gone. A home run for Asdrubal Cabrera. He jumps on the first pitch he sees from Charlie Furbush, and that one's in the bleachers. 2-0 Tribe.
Well, he did not mess around, did he? He got after that first pitch, and we showed you in the open. He's been imitating Jim Thome a little bit, and that swing right there is a pretty good imitation. He's going into the seats. Take a look at the home run replay brought to you by Great Clips. Great needs, great deeds, great clips. And he puts a fastball into the seats, and it'll be Indians 2-0. One swing of the bat for Cabrera, his 23rd home run.
So Asdrubal just keeps having that career year with homers and RBI, is number 23 there. And now Carlos Santana, another switch hitter that's been doing well, has an RBI in 5 of his last 7 games played and has hit safely in 6 of his last 7. And he hits that one high and deep to left field. Jimenez going back on the track, looking up. This ball is gone. Indians go back-to-back. Carlos Santana solo shot, his 26th, and now the Indians' all-time leader for a single season as a switch hitter with 26 home runs, surpassing his idol, Victor Martinez.
Yeah, I knew it was just a matter of time after he started hitting the long ball on the road trip. It did not take this young man long. He will have the record for switch hitters as a Cleveland Indian in 1 year, and this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. He got a ball middle of the plate, and this one was high. Jimenez went back to the wall, looks up. It's not coming back. It is back-to-back home runs. The Indians take a 3-0 lead.
Now Travis Hafner looks at strike one. Now, one thing for sure, Charlie Furbush looks like he's going to be around the plate today. 10 pitches, 9 strikes, so you might as well jump on him.
Well, in a game like this, if you throw strikes, guys will swing early in the count. Unfortunately, he left a couple of balls middle of the plate, and the Indians hitters took advantage.
So quickly, 3-0 Tribe here in the first. And now 1-2 to Travis Hafner. And those home runs by Cabrera and Santana. That's the 6th time this year the Indians have gone back-to-back. And Hafner makes a bid to right. Ichiro going back at the wall. He'll get there. That one just died on the warning track for the second out, but Hafner sent that one pretty far. Let's take a look at yesterday's great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. Shelley Duncan. Couple of hits here in the 7th inning. First a homer, then a double. 3 RBI, and the Indians top the Twins. Relax, you're at Great Clips. And now Shelley here at the plate, the 6-hitter. Batting with 2 outs and nobody on, but 3 runs home. As we get a look at today's Ion 4 Powerade rankings. Shelley Duncan, home run leaders in September, 2 away from Ian Kinsler. And he's got a 2-0 count here from Furbush. And you look at Shelley Duncan this last month, Rick, we were talking about it before the game. He's really in a groove now, and the way he's hitting the ball it's fun to watch.
He's playing about as well as he can offensively. When he's making contact, he's hitting it hard. He's got some very big hits for the Indians. He had a game in Texas the other day where he made 3 plays back to back in a row. That was very, very good. He's having fun, and he's good for this ball club. And I'll tell you what he's doing. He's cementing a place for, a spot on the roster for next year, because he's opening some eyes. He was up and down about, 4 times this year?
Yeah, a lot. But taking advantage, especially here in the latter part of the season, as he walks with 2 outs, so he's aboard for Grady Sizemore. The thing you love about Shelley Duncan is he plays the game with so much heart, and he goes out there and gives you 100% every time. You love to watch guys like that play.
He leaves it on the field. Well, that's the way you're supposed to play the game. You get out there and give it your all. And have fun doing it.
Yep. And another guy that, of course, plays that way is Grady Sizemore. In the 7-hole today, you get a look at his numbers. Well, the rain has let up just a bit, but still drizzling here. And we expect it to be with us for the rest of the late afternoon into the evening.
Well, hopefully we're not going to be here that long in the evening.
Sizemore hits that one to left. That'll fall for a base hit. The Indians' 4th of the inning. And now with 2 outs, there are 2 aboard for Lonnie Chisenhall.
Well, Grady's going to get a pitch down and away. There you'll see him look like he was concentrating on taking it that way. It was a nice swing. Get that base hit to left field. It's nice when you use the whole field. It looks effortless. You just take what the pitcher's giving you, and he did right there. So the Indians with 4 hits in the first inning, and 2 of them have left the yard. As a matter of fact, Cabrera's home run, that was his 23rd on the year. 15 of his home runs, Al, have either tied or given the Indians a lead this year.
You know, you talk about a clutch hitter, and that's exactly what Asdrubal is. He gets his hits at key times. So now Lonnie Chisenhall, the 8th hitter to bat here in the first inning. And Lonnie in his last 10 games is hitting .311 with 4 homers and 10 runs batted in. Has the average up to .245. And now 2-0 to Lonnie Chisenhall. So after throwing 9 of the first 10 pitches for strikes from Charlie Furbush, 8 of the last 12 have been wide ones, but there's a strike. Two on with 2 out, 3 runs already in. 3-0 Tribe here in the bottom of the first. A swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Furbush, and now the count even at 2-2. You see what Lonnie did there in his last 10 games on the road trip.
Swung the bat very well. Now he's been hitting lefties.
And he grounds that one in the hole. Karp will field it. Furbush covers, and the play at first, not in time.
Good hustle.
Infield single for Lonnie Chisenhall, and now the base is loaded.
Well, everything's right in front of you. I mean, he topped that ball, and by the time Karp could come in and get it, it wasn't hit all that hard. It's a matter of just beating the pitcher over there. And I mean, he could see Furbush all the way going to first base. Here comes a flip. You give it a little air underneath, and you can see the footwork. It is bang, bang right there. They say the tie goes to the runner, and it did right there. Jeff Nelson saw it that way. Does it get any closer than that?
No, it does not.
I mean
bang,
to tell you,
amazing.
that is a tie.
You almost never see that. You hear folks talk about ties, but I think we just saw one.
I think you're right. And that was in slow motion.
Lou Marson takes strike 1, so the Indians bat around in the first inning.
They have a chance to really poke a hole in this one early.
Marson also hitting the ball well of late. And he hits that one to right, but right at Ichiro. He'll make the catch, so Marson hit it hard, but he's the final out here in the first inning. However, the Indians score 3 on a couple of home runs, a 2-run shot by Cabrera, and then a solo blast by Carlos Santana. Third time the Indians have seen him this year. A couple of times with Seattle and once with Arizona back in June. Seager lines that one right at shortstop Asdrubal Cabrera. He makes the catch for the first out of the second inning. And let's take a look at today's minor league report, brought to you by Kia. Bryce Stoll, his season at single A and double A, was injured for a time, but now he's back. And 22nd round pick from 2008 out of UC Irvine. Really had an impressive ERA and doing a nice job out of the bullpen. Bryce Stoll, definitely one to put on your minor league radar. So here's Willie Mopena with one out, nobody on here in the second inning. And he takes strike one from David Huff. One and one now. Rick, Willie Mo is one of those guys that you look at and you see his raw ability. I think a lot of organizations, they're licking their chops when they see him. He just never is stuck anywhere.
Well, he's a man with no position. He has probably as good as power as anybody in all the game, including Russell Branyan. Yep. He can hit him as far, but he's always, he has had a tendency to swing and miss a lot and really doesn't have a position to play. He started the year, you remember, he hit a game-winning home run for the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Indians this year earlier. They let him go because, he's more of an American League guy where he can DH.
Now a full count. Yeah, I never really figured how he fit in the National League. He was with the Reds, the Diamondbacks, but you're right, DH really suits him perfectly.
Yes, it does.
And he has always hurt the Indians. You saw the graphic just a moment ago. Hitting .455 against him. And he takes a walk here with one out in the second inning. That'll bring a rookie, Alex Liddy, to the plate. Did you get a look in from our Panini cam high atop Progressive Field?
Well, David Huff doing what he has to do, 6 for 6 on first pitch strikes.
And a strike one to Alex Liddy, who's the first graduate of the MLB European Academy to play in Major League Baseball. He's also the first Italian-born and developed player, 7th all-time in the majors, but the first one to play in the majors since 1962. And quickly it's 0-2, and the book on him has some power, but strikes out quite a bit.
Well, that's something that Seattle does not need. Another guy that can strike out. They lead the league. They're over 1,200. Now, the Indians had it for oh so long, but Seattle has 2 games on them at hand. So these two teams are 1 and 2 in the league when it comes to strikeouts. Coming into today, Seattle had 1,201. The Indians had 1,183. And like I said, the Mariners have played 2 more games.
Right. And Liddy blasts that one to left field. Duncan is going back near the fence, looking up, and it's off the railing. It's a home run.
Two-runner.
2-run shot for Liddy. And just like that, the Mariners are within 1. And that's the first career home run for Alex Liddy.
Well, he had him down in the count, too. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's check out this pitch on our Time Warner Cable pitch tracker. He's going to get enough of it. Was it a breaking ball? Yeah, curveball. Speeds up his bat, 77. There it is, down and in. Liddy able to get enough of it, goes off the railings, and one swing of the bat, and back comes Seattle. It is a 3-2 ball game. So his first career home run, hit, and RBIs.
And he did it with 2 strikes. Robinson to third. Chisenhall, nice play. Guns down Robinson for the second out.
Well, he's trying to surprise him right here, but Chisenhall, I'll tell you what, he's impressed me a little bit at third base over there. He has done a nice job. He's been very accurate with his throws. And he's definitely, he's the third baseman of the future for the Cleveland Indians, no question about it.
Lonnie with a solid play there for the second out. And now Chris Jimenez, the former tribesman. And he's first pitch swing, hits it foul and into the seats on the right side. Chris has played 19 games in his career in the outfield, 13 in left where he is today, 6 in right. However, this is his first outfield start of his career.
Well, Wedgie's always like this guy. He was with the Indians, and, he said, this is a guy that can catch for us and play the outfield. Well, and he takes him to Seattle with him, and it's amazing. You still see him in the big leagues. I mean, Chris is a great kid.
Yeah, one of the best.
Yeah, he is. You got to know him well when he was here in Cleveland, and you grind away.
Now, and he told me in his last year here, he said, I would take being a backup catcher for the next 10 years. I'd be happy with that.
Right.
He said, I just want to be on a major league club, and I'll do what it takes. And that's why he brings 3 gloves to the ballpark with him: catcher's glove, first baseman's glove, and an outfielder's glove.
He'll bring whatever it takes if you can stay at the big league level. And, you get a manager that likes you, like Wedge likes him, and he'll have you around.
Yep. So 1-2 now to Chris Jimenez with 2 outs and nobody on here in the second. Seattle already with 2 runs home on the 2-run homer by Alex Liddy. And now the count full to Jimenez. So David Huff not even through 2 innings and already 41 pitches.
Well, the amazing thing, he's throwing first pitch strikes. He's out there, and
Jimenez serves that one to right, but it's twisting and will go foul.
it's the one thing you could do with David Huff, though. You can foul off a lot of pitches and make him work extra hard. He's been ahead of a lot of hitters. It's just a matter of putting them away now. He's had 6 2-strike counts and 6 foul balls. That's what they do. They foul him off to stay alive.
And that one inside for ball 4. So the second walk issued this inning by David Huff. Jimenez on first with 2 outs. We'll go back to the top of the order and Ichiro Suzuki. Now, the ball has been able to carry here today. 3 home runs already, and we're just in the top of the second. 2 for the Tribe, and 1 for the M's. Ichiro, first pitch swing, little pop-up foul. Chisenhall giving chase and makes the over-the-shoulder catch. He hung on. Great job by Lonnie Chisenhall. Made a couple of nice defensive plays here in the second, but the Mariners get 2. It's 3-2 Indians. Field as some of the fans passing around a little bit of the food there. Rain has pretty much subsided for the moment, maybe a light mist. As Kosuke Fukudome steps in, Indians batted around in the first inning, so here in the second we'll see Fukudome, Donald, and Cabrera. Kosuke a strikeout victim his first time up. Fukudome hits that one to second, but a nice little leap there by the second baseman, Kyle Seager, to make the catch. 1 out. Now let's check in once again with Katie Witham.
Well, Al, just 8 home games left to be seen here at Progressive Field tomorrow. We've got an action-packed day for you, a doubleheader with the Chicago White Sox. You can get tickets for as low as $8 right now. Go online to Indians.com. Al, Rick, back up to you.
All right, Katie. Day-night doubleheader tomorrow. It's Jason Donald, first pitch swinging in the hole. And Donald will beat this one out for an infield single. Luis Rodriguez did all he could there, but Jason Donald has his second hit of the day.
Well, once the ball got past Liddy at third base, Rodriguez couldn't get a handle on it. He did, but watch the grip. He couldn't get anything on the throw, and Donald beats it out as he doesn't catch it cleanly, and he just couldn't put anything on it. Jason beats it out. He's 2 for 2. 6 hits now for the Tribe.
1 out for Cabrera. Same situation that he was in back in the first inning, and he launched the ball to left field for the 2-run homer. And he swings at that first pitch, but fouls it back. It'll make the seats.
Maybe.
Oh, you're right. It almost came back. Olivo got a glove on it. It did come back.
You know what? He had it. Even though he had to reach over that bar, he's upset he didn't catch it. That ball always comes back toward the field once it goes up there. And you see he gets over there in time, gets a glove up, and he just doesn't catch it cleanly. It hits that catcher's mitt, and it bounces out. But I'll bet if you ask him, he would have said, I should have had it.
He had a good effort.
Good effort.
Yeah.
And there is no play on that one.
Yeah, that one really came back for him. That's why you never give up on a ball. Oh, 0-2 now to Asdrubal Cabrera. Hit that home run his first time up, his 23rd of the year. You get a look at his numbers. Heating up once again here.
Well, he's had too good of a year not to. When he was over 20 in Minnesota, he looked tired, but, you know, he had a couple of days off. He's just figuring out how long a season is, and it's a long grind. That's a pretty good company right there. Most home runs as a shortstop for the Indians. Peralta, of course, with 24 back in 05, and Asdrubal's going to get him this year. You got, 11 games after today. What he held on that list.
Now, what's impressive about Cabrera is, as we've talked about, as a switch hitter, he's almost the same from both sides. In fact, this year hitting lefties better than righties. 286 against lefties, 263 against righties. But oftentimes you'll see the switch hitter that's always good from the left side of the plate because you get your majority of the bats there. But Asdrubal, it doesn't matter for him.
For switch hitters, though, and Santana's done the same thing. Tough to maintain, both sides of the plate when you're not getting the looks from the right side as you are the left. You've got to work a little bit harder in extra batting practice in the cages and things like that to stay sharp. But these guys are everyday players, so they've been two of the constants that you can count on, both Santana and Cabrera, all year long.
Donald's running. Cabrera lines that one to left. It is a fair ball. Donald quickly around second to third. Smitty's going to wave him in. He'll score. And Asdrubal Cabrera heads into second with the stand-up double. The RBI, 4-2 Tribe.
And Donald had a very good jump on Furbush as he lifts that leg up and he hangs. He keeps it up there for a while. But Cabrera able to pull it down in the corner. A high breaking ball. 75 miles per hour. He left it middle of the plate, and Asdrubal makes him pay. So he's off to a good start today. 2 for 2 with 3 ribbies, both extra base hits. Donald able to pick up the baseball, sees it's in the corner. He will have no problem scoring. It is a 4-2 ball game.
Now Santana, who also homered his first time up. He looks at ball 1 from Furbush. 4-2 tribe. The Indians already with 4 runs on 7 hits today. And the Indians now have hit a home run in 9 of their last 10 games. Furbush taking a lot of time there on the hill.
Well, and that's what you have to do as a hitter. You can't sit there and wait because you get caught flat-footed. If he doesn't want to deliver it, call timeout.
Now 1-1 to Santana. Charlie Furbush in 05 and 06 pitched for Division III St. Joseph's in Maine. It's in Standish, Maine, about 9,000 residents there. And then in 2007, he transferred to Louisiana State to pitch as a junior. 2-1 now. And Charlie said he was just happy to get a baseball scholarship because, you started Division III and had no real designs on being drafted and signed to a professional contract. But he was just going for a degree in sports management, and here he is pitching in the big leagues.
You never know. That's the one of the good things about baseball. Got him.
And they got Cabrera.
Where was he
Hung
going?
up.
I mean, there's no sense in going anyway. Not a good job of base running.
Tag applied by Liddy, and Cabrera is out number 2.
You're
here
in
the
scoring
second
position.
inning.
You've got your RBI guy at the plate. Let him hit. Look he's going to take off. He wanted to steal, and he just caught. He knew it after he took off.
So now 2 outs with nobody on for Santana. A 2-1 count on him. And now 3-1. Baltimore beat Boston earlier today, 6-5. The Yankees beat Minnesota.
How about that? Boston.
Yeah.
Collapsing.
They are? You're right.
Game and a half ahead of Tampa. Tampa's off today, but Tampa beat those guys 6 out of the last 7, and I'll tell you what, it's a wild card race now.
It sure is. You mentioned the wild card, Rick. There you go. And how about the Angels now? They're in this too.
Right. They're in the wild card because of the way Boston has played, but, don't know if they're going to get the Western Division championship.
Santana out looking. Second strikeout for Furbush. Indians get 1, though. 4-2. Tribe leads it. I'm Al Pulowski. Have a good one. See you later, bro. Welcome back to the ballpark. We'd like to remind you to stay tuned for later in the game to see what our Miller Taste Greatness moment will be. We head to the third inning. It'll be Rodriguez, Carp, and Olivo. Hitters 2, 3, and 4 for Seattle here in the top of the third. 4-2 Indians. How about Lonnie Chisenhall with this over-the-shoulder bobble catch of Suzuki?
There it is. Stay with it. That's not an easy play when you're going over the shoulder and looking back like that, but it bounces up and able to hold on to it.
Some of the folks out here today,
they're staying dry.
Yeah, doing the best they can with that. Again, a mist falling, nothing too substantial. The grounds crew doing a nice job there, keeping the field in as good of condition as possible. There you go, a true fan.
Yes, sir. He's got, look at, he's putting them down in his, he's got a number of signs down there he's going to hold up.
He's going to rotate them all.
9 games in 7 days, doesn't get any better.
Luis Rodriguez hits that one deep, but foul to left. That's out of play. Strike one to Luis Rodriguez. He flew out to left his first time up. Luis says that his hero growing up is Omar Vizquel, and still is.
He was my hero growing up, and still is, Omar. When I was a kid, he was playing.
I know that. Boy, there's another guy that it seems that every year you watch him play, he keeps playing and playing well. That one to third gets past Chisenhall and into left field. So Rodriguez is aboard with nobody out here in the third inning.
Well, the conditions, it's a little skimmer. The grass is wet out there, and it's almost like hydroplanes out there. You don't realize it. It may not look like it, but if that ball skips on you. They gave him an error on that.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
So Chisenhall commits the first error today. And now Mike Carp. Grounded into a fielder's choice. Reach first base, his first time up. And now 2-0 to Mike Carp. Playing first base today and getting a lot of reps at first base in the last month or so for Seattle with Justin Smoke. Spent a large amount of time out of the Mariners lineup with an injury, but Carp also can play outfield. And he hits that one to left center. That will get down and get in the gap. Sizemore going over, but he'll have to play it off the wall. Coming around third is Rodriguez. They'll wave him in. He'll score without a throw. And Seattle has again cut this to a one-run game. 4-3 Tribe on the double by Mike Carp, who also picks up his 39th RBI of the year.
Well, the last time the Mariners were in town, they were swinging the bats very well in this ballpark. And I'll tell you what, here they are again. These young kids are coming up. They've got nothing to lose. Gets a fastball, turns on it, inside out, left center field. So after the error, the double comes back to score him. He's in scoring position. It's a 4-3 ball game and nobody out.
That run unearned. And now Miguel Olivo, who hits his first pitch to left center field. Duncan, though, coming in. He'll make the catch for the first out here in the third inning. Let's take a look at today's AT&T trivia question. This former Indian shortstop struck out just 114 times in over 7,000 at-bats in his Hall of Fame career. Name him. Of course, we'll have that answer for you coming up later. The AT&T trivia question.
114 times in 7,000 at-bats. That's impressive.
I've got a good idea who that might be. We'll see.
You're all over it. I know it.
Here's Kyle Seager. He looks at a ball. Seager.
You roomed with him at college, didn't you?
Oh, my goodness. That would have been a long time ago. 1-0 here. And Seager hits that one foul. There's Mike Carp at second base. He got the RBI double. One out for Seattle in the third. 4-3 Tribe. Now 2-1.
I'm going to have the guys go back and check and see how many times David Huff pitched this year when it didn't rain.
Yeah, it seems like every time
he had a
he's taken
couple
them
rained out as well.
And they had that fabulous start against the Twins that was washed out. He first 2 innings, retired all 6 batters, struck out 4. Kyle Seager single to center. Coming around third is Carp. He'll score, and the Mariners have tied this game at 4.
Well, the Mariners now with 4 hits. There's a fastball badly located. That was his problem his last start. He was leaving the fastball up and giving some guys the swinging room. And when your fastball is straight like David, you've got to locate it. I mean, you've got to get the ball down. You've got to make them work. Can't be upstairs, and he's getting it up again.
Now Willie Mopenu takes ball 1. He walked and scored his first time up back in the second inning. Tied at 4 now here in the third inning. Mariners with 2 runs in the second, 2 runs here in the third. Indians with 3 runs in the first, a run in the second. And now 1-1 to Pena. Uh-oh, look who's back.
Well, you know what? I think we're infringing on his territory. He's trying to get some nuts ready for the wintertime.
Now 1-2 as Pena fouls another one off.
I'll tell you, there's not many people in the suites here today, but that foul ball went over there and gave him a wake-up call.
I think he's trying to find a way out. There's that suite. Yeah, you're right. Checking to see if everybody's okay. Timeout called at the plate. David Huff now with 58 pitches. 37 of those have been for strikes. But we're only in the third inning. Pena just got a piece. Seager on at first, 1 away here in the third inning. Now 2-2 to Willie Mopena.
Going to go inside with that fastball where you want it. A little down, a little bit, not by much. I like the location, though.
And now a full count to Pena. Now it seems, Rick, today that Huff has been able to get ahead, as you talked about, those first pitch strikes, but hasn't been able to finish guys off.
This is the 4th full count now for Huff.
Another foul ball off to the right. And that one's going to stay up in the mezzanine. Saw a couple of kids earlier. They had one ball in each hand out there and right. One young man, you hear the applause in the background, won the sprint. There were 3 kids running after that one. Held it high in the air. And there's the squirrel. Well, he's found his way into the seats. And there he goes.
Tell you what, that thing can't hide from us, can he? I think I see security chasing him. He does not have a ticket for this game. They better go get him and throw him out.
Get him out of here. Ninth pitch of the at-bat. That one hit to right. Foul. Headed towards the seats. Another souvenir. Once again, the payoff pitch. And that one is ball 4 and gets away from Lou Marson. Track it down. Seager rounds second. But he will hang out right there as Willie Mopena works the walk. And while we have a moment, let's send it over to Dave Chudowski, who's standing by back at our Hyundai studio for an update. Dave, what's happening?
Al, thanks a lot. Twins at Yankees and history made. 41-year-old Mariano Rivera gets Chris Parmalee looking. That's his 602nd career save. That's a major league record, passing Trevor Hoffman. 6-4 the final. Back over to you.
All right, Dave. So a major league record for Mariano Rivera. The Yankees with that win, coupled with the Boston Red Sox loss. And I think it's fair to say that the Yankees are in pretty good shape now to win that American League East, especially, Rick, as you talked about, the Red Sox. They've been scuffling here in September.
Yeah. Yes, they have.
Yeah, the Yankees now 5.5 ahead of Boston in the East. So the Red Sox pretty much focused on that wild card, trying to hold off Tampa. It's a 1.5 back, and the Angels 3.5 behind. Alex Liddy hit a home run his first time up. First major league homer. Now 1-1 to him.
Remember that home run came on a curveball that Huff left down and in. That was speeding up his bat head. And he hit it right off the railings and off the home run porch. Well, last couple of innings, David's struggling to get through them. You know, and he's a guy you can't nibble. He's been nibbling. Even though he gets ahead in the count, the guys get worked their way and they get back into the count. You've got to find a way, pitch to contact, and then get after it. They've been fouling off a lot of his pitches when they are in the strike zone, and they're taking the ones that are outside of it.
Liddy hits that one to short right center. It's going to be between everyone. Fukudome makes the throw into Carlos Santana. So that'll keep the bases loaded as Seager has to stop at third. But now Seattle, the bag's juice, just one out here in the third inning. And an opportunity to take the lead for the first time today.
Well, it's not that he hit that ball. He got it down on the trademark. That wasn't a bad pitch. But that's what happens. He fights it off. They flare it in. And now they'll have the bases loaded. That's the third hit in the inning. Trayvon Robinson's going to be the hitter. Out goes Tim Belcher.
And there is
the last thing you want to do is get into that bullpen. Yeah. You've got a day-night doubleheader tomorrow,
right,
to begin with. So they're gonna have to get somebody up and getting loose. I don't know if it's going to be Durbin or whatever, but when you've got a day-night doubleheader coming tomorrow, you'd love your starter to give you 6 innings.
It looked like Chad Durbin just hopped up the ramp there and headed to get loose in the bullpen. So the Mariners with the bases loaded, 1 out here in the third. Already with 2 runs home, they've tied it at 4. Now Trayvon Robinson, who tried to bunt his way on the first time, but was erased on a nice play by Lonnie Chisenhall. He looks at ball 1.
Seattle has had 15 foul balls off David Huff. And Seattle has had 6 guys go to 5 or more pitches, and some of them, like you had the Pena at bat, that went to 10.
And now 1-1 here to Trayvon Robinson. He was acquired from Boston on July 31st for Eric Bedard. Boston had acquired him from the Dodgers back on July 31st, so he was
Boy, he moves around in a hurry, huh?
He sure did. He was part of that three-way.
West Coast to East Coast to West Coast.
Here's the runners. Seager at third. Willie Mopena at second base. And Alex Liddy, the rookie, over at first. Robinson a swing and a miss. So Huff ahead of him 1-2. If David could pick up his second strikeout right here, that would be big. Time called at home plate. You know, David Huff has had his struggles against Seattle. 2 starts against him in his career coming into today. 0-2 with an .864 earned run average.
But it's his last start coming in 2009. But it doesn't seem to change anything, does it? Because they're off to a good start. Already 4 on the board. They have bases loaded and try and add on.
It's that one up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Seattle will take the lead. 1 run is in. Here comes Pena. He will score. 6-4 Seattle. They've scored 4 here in the third inning. And the 11th and 12th runs batted into the season for Trayvon Robinson.
Again, watch the breaking ball. Middle of the plate. Just hangs one up there, and it speeds up his bat. He just threw a fastball by him. And now you're going to slow one down for him, and he drives it right back up the middle. Wet conditions, you're going to score easily from second base. So Robinson drives in a pair at 6-4 Seattle.
So now Chris Jimenez, who walked his first time up back in the second inning. He'll bat with 1 out, runners at first and second. There's a strike. Chris Jimenez making his first start in left field today for the Mariners as you get a look at Chad Durbin getting loose.
Well, he could be one hitter away from being in this ball game.
Jimenez hits that one high to right. Fukudome will have room. He'll make the catch. The runner will tag and head to third. And making it without a throw is Alex Liddy. So 2 outs now. We'll go back to the top of the order and Ichiro Suzuki as the Mariners have batted around here in the third inning. Ichiro 1 for 2. He's batted in every inning thus far. Two outs, runners at the corners. Mariners now with a 6-4 lead.
This looks like it's going to be the first year that Ichiro will not get 200 hits. He's gone 10 consecutive years where he's had 200. And he is at 173, I believe. 174 with that hit coming in the first inning. So 26 away. I mean, I'm not going to say no with this guy because you never know. He could go 3-4 hit games in a row and get 4 hits.
Yeah.
And he is going to Minnesota, and their pitching is struggling. So we'll wait and see. But it doesn't look like he's going to get to 200 hits, but he'll be awfully close.
He would have to get awfully hot here down the stretch. Sends that one foul. 1-2 now to Suzuki. There's a look at the base runners. Liddy at third base. And Trayvon Robinson over at first. 4 runs in here in this third inning for Seattle. And Ichiro sends that one fair. Just serve that one to left right down the line. A run is in. Robinson at third base will hold there, and it's a double for Ichiro Suzuki as they almost caught Robinson leaning. But 5 runs scored now in this third inning for Seattle, and they lead it 7-4.
Well, that's going to do it for David Huff. Fastball, and this guy just looks for a ball away to slap the other way, and it's almost like a cue shot. That thing almost died stopped before it got to the left fielder. But that's going to do it for David Huff. He couldn't get through 3 today. Another bad outing for him.
So Huff will exit. The call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. Back to tell you about Chad Durbin after this. The third inning, and Chad Durbin is on in relief of David Huff, and the Mariners still have an opportunity to add on. 5 runs home already. They'll have runners at second and third with 2 outs for Luis Rodriguez.
Well, Chad Durbin, they got their work cut out for him now. The bullpen's going to have to give Manny Active some innings now. You're going to have to get 6 1/3 innings today before that day-night doubleheader tomorrow. So that's something he wanted to try to avoid. So he can't be a happy camper now. But it's up to Chad Durbin.
Pitch inside for ball 1 to Rodriguez, who's 0 for 2, but he reached on an error to start this inning, and then came around and scored on the Mike Carp double. Hits that one foul, and
you know, for David Huff today, 80 pitches. He had 4 swings and misses all day. Seattle was 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And even when David was ahead, 0-2 or 1-2, they were 3 for 6, and he ended up walking a couple of guys. So even when he got ahead, he couldn't put them away. Disappointing day for him.
Two and 1 to Rodriguez. Came up with the Minnesota Twins, made his major league debut back in 2005. 3 and 1. There's Robinson at third base. Ichiro at second. And ball 4 to Rodriguez. So now the base is loaded once again. This time for Mike Carp, who doubled here in the third inning, scored a run as well. Rain continues to fall. Both teams now have 7 hits apiece. However, the Indians 4 runs to Seattle's 7. That one just above the Mariners' dugout. Went to the seats. A couple of guys covering their heads over there.
They're all bundled up. I'm surprised they were even able to move.
That one hit high and deep to right. Fukudome taking a look, and that's all he can do. That ball is gone to the mezzanine. Grand slam for Mike Karp. And Seattle takes the lead 11-4 with 9 runs here in the third inning.
I'll tell you what, the grand slam has been made to order here in the last week or 9 games, actually, for the Indians. That's his first career grand slam. A little cutter coming down and in. And boy, he takes care of that, doesn't he? 89 miles an hour. So you close the book on David Huff. He gives up 9 of the 11. Chad Durbin comes in, gives up the other 2. That's the 5th grand slam given up in, I think, the last 9 games.
Third grand slam of the season for the Mariners, and boy, have they put up some numbers here in this third inning. 9 runs on 7 hits. Now Olivo, who struck out in the first inning, flew out here in the third. As the Mariners send their 12th batter to the plate. 2-2 now to Olivo. And a foul tip held on by Lou Marson. So Chad Durbin gets his first strikeout, the second for Indians pitching, but the Mariners do some major damage here. 9 runs in the third inning. They lead it 11-4. For the third inning, yes, 11-4 is correct. The Indians led this one early, 3-0. But Seattle, with 9 runs in the top half of this frame, have now taken a 7-run lead. And the Indians threw 49 pitches in the third inning. Now Travis Hafner against Charlie Furbush. Be Hafner, Duncan, and Sizemore. Travis a line out. His first time up to right. Well, things have just changed for Charlie Furbush. Huh? Down 3-0 and 4-2. Now you're up by 7.
Well, we'll see if he can hold them. I'm not so sure he can do that. We're out here. We're in the rain. Let's keep going.
And 3-1 to Pronk. Indians with a day-night doubleheader tomorrow. 105 the first one. As Hafner laces that one to right. Well, that's a sizzler to the mezzanine. Club seats there. We'll have Indians on deck for you tomorrow at 12:30 just for the first game. Bruce Drennan between games. And then the nightcap tomorrow, 7:05. Hafner hits that one high and short right field. Second baseman Kyle Seager makes the catch, one away here in the third inning.
Well, you can fill a house for charity. That'll be Wednesday. The Tribe will take on the Chicago White Sox. It's a 7:05 start. And from every ticket sold, a dollar will be donated to the Salvation Army of Greater Cleveland. So support a worthy cause. Come on out, get your tickets. That'll be Wednesday.
Shelly Duncan, who walked his first time up. Uh-oh.
The Cheesehead. He's in town. Beautiful. Where are the Packers playing? They're not in town this week, are they?
No.
That's beautiful.
He's got himself one heck of a hot dog there.
Got himself one heck of a head.
1-1 here to Shelly Duncan. By the way, they just said that Mike Carp grand slam 455 feet. Two and one now to Shelly Duncan. One out, nobody on here in the third inning. We'll start our coverage for you tomorrow at 12:30. Indians doubleheader once again against the White Sox. 105 and 7:05. And Bruce Drennan in between. As Duncan pops that one foul and out of play. And a good breaking ball there by Furbush. Strike three. Third strikeout for Furbush. Second out of the third inning. And that'll bring Grady Sizemore to the plate.
He's going to come and get Duncan with a backdoor breaking ball right here. You give up on it. It comes in. It gets the strike zone. And that's about 76, 77 miles per hour. So that's out number two here in the third.
Now Sizemore, who singled his first time up. He'll take that inside for a ball. That one hit foul, 1-1 now. Grady Sizemore, Rick, with an option for next year to come back. Now it's 1-2. Now it's tough to see Grady suffer through these injuries the last 3 years. He plays the game so hard, and to see him get beat up a little bit.
Well, he's been injured pretty much for the last 3 years. He hasn't been able to string it together. And it's got to kill a guy that's been out there every day for so many years for the Indians. I mean, he was their gamer, their one constant. And then the injury bug started, and, it's been tough for him to stay on the field. So it's tough.
And a swing and a foul tip. Strike three, Grady Sizemore out swinging. Fourth strikeout for Furbush. We go to the fourth, 11-4 Seattle. Here at Progressive Field, 11-4. Seattle has a 7-run lead. Tonight on Sports Time Ohio, the Browns Red Zone returns. Make sure you join us at 8 o'clock. Andre Knott, Tony Grossi, Doug Deacon. They'll take your calls and emails about the Browns' big win yesterday over the Colts. The Browns Red Zone tonight at 8, right here on Sports Time Ohio. Browns with that victory yesterday over the Colts. Fairly convincing, too. Up by a couple of touchdowns. Colts get one late. Miami coming to town this weekend. Hopefully the Browns can prove to 2-1. Here in the fourth, it's Seager, Pena, and Liddy. Hitters 5, 6, and 7 for the M's. You're just joining us, Seattle with 9 runs in the third inning.
Yeah, not a good inning for the Indians. David Huff started that inning. They ended up having 6 hits in the inning. All started by an error to lead off that inning, but they just couldn't get through it.
Kyle Seager pops that one foul. Chisenhall, he'll make the play. 1 out here in the fourth. Scoreboard update brought to you by your Northern Ohio Ford dealers and the all-new 2012 Ford Focus. Ford, drive one. Of course, the important scores from earlier today in the AL. Baltimore beating Boston and New York winning. Rick, we were talking about that earlier. Now Tampa Bay just a game and a half behind the Red Sox. And I'll tell you, the way this Tampa team pitches, they could catch Boston.
Well, no question about it. They just beat them 6 out of the last 7 times they played them. But you were telling me earlier, Baltimore, they're no good. They spoiled the Angels for 2 games over
everybody.
There. That's exactly right. They ended up spoiling Tampa. They won 2 out of 3 before they played there. They go into Boston and they beat Boston. Those are the teams you watch out for, the spoilers that have nothing to lose. But Tampa now has the Yankees for a 4-game series. I think they got a doubleheader tomorrow in New York, and then they'll get them back in Tampa as well. So they've got some games against the Yankees, and the Yankees look like they're going to, cruise in there as far as winning the division goes. So we will see. It'll be interesting.
Pena takes a walk with 1 out here in the fourth inning.
For the 3rd time he has walked today.
And he scored the previous 2 times. Now Alex Liddy. You talk about how tough that American League East is. And yeah, it's tough, but you see coming down the stretch, I wouldn't say the Yankees have been dominant lately. The Red Sox have been scuffling. The best team right now, that's the Tampa Bay Rays, the way they're playing ball. They're getting some key hits as well.
Well, the thing people better watch out for, the Detroit Tigers, because now you're looking at home field advantage and what's going on. They have 89 wins. The Yankees now with 92. Texas is down there. They have 88. So it's going to be interesting to see what team plays the wild card and what team has the home field advantage going into it.
Well, if the Rays catch the Red Sox, I think it's fair to say the Rays and the Tigers will clearly be the hottest teams going into October.
When you look at the records, in the American League, there it is. Detroit's in second. Texas is right there. And, like we mentioned, now you have Tampa going up against New York, and, they can make some headway. And
fielder's choice there for Alex Liddy. Pena is erased at second base, but Liddy safe at first. Second out.
Well, that's a play that should be turned. It's a double play ball. You get there, it's nice and easy, and the throw is not a good throw. You bring Santana off the base. That's something we haven't been able to do. Jason at second base hasn't been able to make that turn, and that's something that has to be done at the big league level. You get a routine ground ball like that, I don't care if it's wet conditions or not, that's a double play that should be turned.
We'll get Trayvon Robinson to the plate. He singled with the bases loaded, knocked in a couple of runs back in the third inning. That made it 6-4 at the time, and then, of course, Mike Karp would hit the grand slam later in the inning. And now 1-1 to Robinson. A product of Major League Baseball's RBI program from Southern California. Something he says he's very proud of. It's that ball to second. Donald will throw him out. The Mariners retired here in the fourth inning. They leave one, still 11-4. Seattle by 7. Tribe, Chisenhall, Marson, and Fukudome. Tribe down by 7 to Charlie Furbush and the Seattle Mariners. Some hardy fans there with their Indians ponchos. Chisenhall, an infield single, his first time up, and there's ball one. Look, we were talking about how Lonnie Chisenhall hits lefties better, especially here in September. Why is that? What made him a better hitter against left-handed pitching?
I don't know what's made him a better hitter. He picked out a few breaking balls, that they hung. They hung upstairs. He had 4 straight home runs off left-handers on the sliders. He hit Burley twice in one ball game. You know, and it's not when you're playing every day, you can hit left-handers. You know, if they make their pitches, sure, they're going to get their outs. But when they make mistakes and you're in a good groove like Lonnie's been in, you're going to get your base hits. They just happen to be the long ball. That's all. Look at, he's got 5 homers against left-handers.
And in a hitter's count here.
You can't predict it. I mean, left-handers, you think up the middle the other way, but when they slow one down for you and they make a mistake, he's been able to hit that ball out in right field.
Three and two now to the Indians' first-round draft pick from 2008. It's that one foul into the seats.
Thing I like about it the other day in Minnesota, off the left-handers, he had a couple of 2-out base hits that were down and away, and I mean down out of the zone, that he was able to get base hits up the middle and drive in runs with 2 outs. I like those hits as much. Those are quality at-bats.
And Furbush gets his 3rd consecutive strikeout, his 5th overall, as he K's Chisenhall here to start the 4th.
Well, you don't want to miss the first hockey game in Progressive Field history and the first ever outdoor college hockey game in the state of Ohio. It's the Frozen Diamond face-off between Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. That'll take place Sunday, January 15th, right here. Register online for the chance to purchase tickets before the general public. Visit Indians.com/snowdays.
That'll be fun. Looking forward to that one.
You going to be here?
I'm going to do everything I can. As long as I'm in town, I'm here.
Okay. No, that gives you an out. I'm not buying that from you.
I'm planning on being here, but you never know what might happen.
If you have a basketball game to do, you won't be here.
I'll have to do the basketball game.
Okay.
Right. 2-0 to Lou Marson. He lined out his first time up to Ichiro Suzuki in right. Mariners with 11 runs on 8 hits. They've left 3. Indians 4 runs on 7 hits. They've left 3 as well. Indians have committed 1 error. Mariners none. That was a big error, too, back in the 3rd inning. Lead it off, Luis Rodriguez. Eventually, then the Mariners will go on to score 9 in that frame. And strike 3 called to Lou Marson. 4 consecutive strikeouts now for Charlie Furbush, 6 overall. 2 outs in the 4th. Back to the top of the order, and Kosuke Fukudome, who's 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a lineout to second base in the 1st and 2nd innings, respectively. On the outside corner for strike 1. And suddenly Charlie Furbush has found the groove.
He sure has.
Fukudome checks his swing, and he did in time, says third base umpire Bill Welke. One and 2 now to the Indians' right fielder. He stays alive there. The Indians got 3 runs in the 1st inning, a run in the 2nd. And a swing and a miss. Kosuke Fukudome strikes out. Furbush strikes out the side here in the 4th inning. It's still 11-4. We're going to the 5th. Proud to fly the Cleveland Indians. And by Panini's. Like Panini's franchise group on Facebook for your chance to win giveaways and prizes. Fifth inning, downtown Cleveland.
Already?
Can you believe it? Only an hour and 38 minutes in. Mist falling. Some diehard Tribe fans here. Hoping the Indians can get something going late. They're down 11-4 here. Young man with a foul ball. There have been a bunch of those hit to the seats here today, so the fans that came out are walking away with some souvenirs. Chris Jimenez will lead it off in the top of the fifth inning. He'll be followed by Suzuki and Rodriguez. Chad Durbin, who came on in the third inning for David Huff, works now here into the fifth.
Ouch.
I think Chris got that one off his toe.
Let's send along some birthday wishes today. Ray Land of Richmond Heights is 93. Richard Sherrio of North Lawrence, Ohio, big Tribe fan. He's turning 86. Aaron Finkelstein of Shaker Heights is 71. Happy birthday to each and every one of you.
Count remains 0-2 to Chris Jimenez.
And one anniversary. Jim and Colleen Blessinger of Broadview Heights celebrating their 30th today. Happy anniversary. Congratulations. Ooh, pretty good pitch right there.
Yeah, apparently just off the plate. 1-2 now to Jimenez. It's that one to third, Chisenhall. Makes the play for the first out here in the fifth inning. Tomorrow, big day of programming on Sports Time Ohio. Things kick off at 12:30 with Indians on deck. Dave and Jason will have that for you, followed by the Indians White Sox with Matt and Rick, game one. Between games, Bruce will take your calls and emails during All Bets Are Off. Then at 7, we're back for game 2 of the doubleheader with Chicago. Following that, Chuck's last call. Wall-to-wall Indians baseball tomorrow, only on STO.
Did I hear you say Dave and Jason will have that for you?
Yeah.
Where are you going to be?
Well, I'll do the post game for the first and the second, the updates.
You got to get the day off, the morning of it off?
Well, yeah.
Okay, just checking. Working hard today?
Yeah. One and one here to Ichiro Suzuki.
Substitute teacher tomorrow. Let's go. It's either all in or all out.
Now, we might still be playing.
We could be.
Two and two now to Suzuki. He has a single and a double. Scored a run in the third inning. Stays alive. Don't forget to stay tuned after the game. Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. Following that, Chuck's last call. Well, Ichiro finds more ways to just get a little piece of those tough pitches.
Yeah, just stay alive, live for one more pitch, and hopefully get something to his liking and able to put it in play for a base hit. Good hitters usually do find a way to do that.
And strike three called on Suzuki, who's in disagreement.
Well, there you go. Fastball down and in. Drizzly, 11-4. Looked like it was right down the middle to me.
Third strikeout for Indians pitching, second for Chad Durbin today, and Rodriguez swings at the first pitch and pops it high in the air to short left. Cabrera out, Duncan in, and Shelley Duncan makes the call and the catch The Mariners go 3 up, 3 down here in the 5th inning. They still lead it, though, 11-4. Charlie Furbush, he has struck out 5 straight in 6 of the last 7. During those 5 straight strikeouts, he's thrown 27 pitches, 17 strikes, 2 called strikeouts. Jason Dono will see if he can solve the riddle. He'll be followed by Asdrubal Cabrera and Carlos Santana.
Well, he should, because he is 2 for 2 this afternoon.
Scored both times. 2-0 now to Jason Donald. Boy, nice to see him come up and have a good second half of the season, Rick, when Jason had those injuries in spring training with the hand and was in the running for the starting third base job. It's that one foul back at us, but up above. But another kid that he works hard, and he worked very hard while he was out, and it's paid off for him here.
The unfortunate thing, you're right, he was hit by a pitch in the hand, and he lost time, and he lost the starting job at third base. So to go down there, he didn't pout. He didn't complain. He went down and played hard, and his opportunity came. And now you have to make the most of it. Because even though last year, there were a lot of young kids and everybody was playing for spots and for look-sees for the next year, it's the same thing this year. In all reality, wow, this guy.
That's the 6th strikeout. Oliva will throw out Donald, 6th strikeout in a row. Time now for your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers game recap. Back in the first inning, Asdrubal Cabrera, a 2-run homer. The Indians went ahead 3-0, but back come the Mariners. Trayvon Robinson breaks a 4-all tie with his single up the middle, and then it was Mike Karp. See ya. Grand slam, 455 feet, 9 runs in the third for Seattle. They lead it now, 11-4. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. So 8 strikeouts now for Charlie Furbush, 6 in a row. And he struck out 7 of the last Tribe hitters that he's seen. Cabrera up the middle, base hit, breaks the string, and he's aboard with 1 out here in the 5th inning.
Well, he's 3 for 3 today. He hasn't had a problem. Get a breaking ball, one of those backdoor breaking balls. He's trying to hit the outside corner, and Cabrera takes him right back up the middle. So, Asdrubal with 3 of the 8 hits that the Indians have.
Both clubs now with 8 hits, but Seattle with 11 runs to Cleveland's 4. And Rick, that error back in the 3rd inning, that's made a difference. And those 6 straight strikeouts by Charlie Furbush was one away from the club record.
Had to be Randy Johnson or Mark Langston.
You got it, Mark Langston.
One of those two.
Struck out 7 straight against Texas back on June 15th of 1984.
Well, I put, Randy Johnson, Charlie Furbush right in the same class.
Mark Langston,
Charlie Furbush.
Give or take, right? There's Cabrera at first. Santana. Strike 2 on the inside corner.
It goes to show you about pitching because the big unit, he threw hard and had the hard slider. Mark Langston had a great curveball, and he threw, in the mid-90s as well. This guy, if you locate your pitches and you change your speeds and he's got the curveball, it doesn't matter. You can still strike out hitters no matter how hard you throw it.
Now, when he gave up 3 runs in the first, 1 in the second, but since the 3rd inning, he's been locked in.
Ever since the Cabrera pickoff, to be honest with you. When he picked him off at second base, whereas Drubel was going, I don't know, but the game has turned around since that point. It was a 4-2 ball game at the time.
And he did that in the 2nd inning with 1 out, so you pick him off, and then he struck out Carlos Santana to get out of that second.
And it's been lights out ever since.
It's a great point. Something like that can sometimes get you going.
Well, that and a 9-run 3rd inning certainly can.
That's a pretty big boost as well. Santana hits that one to right. It's a fair ball. That will go to the corner. As Dribbles motoring around second base. And Smitty will hold him at 3rd. Santana checks into 2nd. So now Indians with runners at 2nd and 3rd. And 1 out here in the 5th inning. The double for Carlos Santana, his 33rd of the year.
Boy, and what a great swing by Santana. I mean, a line drive the other way. Look where that pitch is. When Carlos puts his mind to taking this swing right there on a pitch like that, he can become a 300 hitter. Because I'll tell you what, he will not leave a pitcher many opportunities to get him out when you take that swing right there, and you got to hold up with the track being a little muddy. But down into the corner, back-to-back hits for the Indians, and that was a really great swing.
So that'll give Travis Hafner a chance to get the Indians a couple of runs here. And he takes ball 1 in the dirt. Travis today 0 for 2 with a line out to right and a pop out to 2nd. Travis batting .372 with runners in scoring position this year. One and one to the Indians' designated hitter. Indians trying to chip away at Charlie Furbush. He's throwing 90 pitches now. And Travis hits that one on the ground past Karp. That's a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Santana. He'll score. It's a 2-run single for Travis Hafner, and the Indians have cut it to 11-6.
Three straight hits now for the Indians, and Travis Hafner picks on a breaking ball. Check it out on our Time Warner Cable pitch tracker. He just doesn't get this breaking ball away. It stayed middle of the plate, and Hafner kept his hands back enough to drive it past Karp at first base. Get it into right field, so here they go. A couple of more in. Now they've got it down to an 11-6 game, and it's only the bottom of the 5th.
And now Shelley Duncan, who's hit the ball very well here in September. And in his last 13 games overall, he's batting .341 with 6 homers. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a strikeout. Now Miguel Oliva will chat with Charlie Furbush. Well, we've seen Charlie go from struggling to begin the game, dominating in the middle, and now struggling here again in the 5th inning.
Well, the 3 straight hits will do something. Cabrera took a ball just right back up the middle, and you keep him out of the stretch. When he was out of the full windup, he was dominating these guys, striking them out. You get him out of the stretch. Santana put a good swing on a ball, and Hafner continues.
Duncan hits that one high to left center. It's deep, but there should be room for Robinson. Near the wall, he'll make the catch. That's the second out, so Duncan gave it a ride. But he's out number 2 here in the 5th inning.
Tommy just gave me a little note here, Al, what we were talking about. Out of the stretch, Indians 6 for 7, now 6 for 8 after that flyout. And I'll tell you, Duncan didn't miss it by much. So that's how you got to get this guy. Get him out of the stretch. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem like his stuff is the same. Boy, oh boy, he wants that one back because he hit it a long way and got under it just a hair.
Josh Lukey getting loose. So now Sizemore with 2 outs and Hafner at first base. And that breaking ball is over for a strike. Grady with the single and a strikeout today. Well, there are some pitchers that just struggle out of the stretch, and you would think a guy like Furbush, who isn't exactly a fireballer, would be okay out of the stretch, but at least today, he's not.
Well, that's true.
And Sizemore breaks the bat. That grounder to second. He'll be retired by Kyle Seager. So the Indians out here in the 5th inning, but they add 2 runs. They make it an 11-6 game. We're heading to the 6th here in downtown Cleveland. In Furniture, home of Sealy's Posturepedic mattress, made in Northeast Ohio. And by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. Time to join the Hyundai movement. We go to the 6th inning. New pitcher for the Tribe as Sliders having some fun with the kids in the stands. 11-6, Mariners have the lead, and Frank Herman has entered the game for the Tribe in relief of Chad Durbin. I think they were trying to give Slider an ice cream cone. That would have been interesting. So Herman will make his 37th appearance of the season. Perfect 4-0 for the Tribe out of the pen. You'll see hitters 3, 4, and 5. Carp, Olivo, and Seager here in the 6th inning. We've seen drizzle all day today. Occasionally a little bit harder than that, but for the most part a mist or a drizzle. And temperature right around 60 to 62 degrees, so not too bad. There's Mike Karp, who hit a grand slam his last time up back in the third inning that traveled 455 feet to the mezzanine and right. That made it 11-4 at the time. Now 11-6. Ball one to Karp from Frank Herman. Now 1-1. Mike Karp was named the Mets minor league player of the year after he had an organization best 88 ribbies in St. Lucie back in 2006. He has some powers. He's showing. $11 home runs, 49 runs batted in on the year. And today, Mike Karp has knocked in 5.
Well, he knocked in 5 in the third inning.
Yeah, you're right.
You talk about a good inning, huh? 6 total bases, had the double. His first at-bat there to drive in one, then hit the grand slam. And that was the 5th grand slam that the Indians gave up in the last 12 games. They gave up 1 grand slam in their first 139 games. How about that? They were one of the last teams to give up a grand slam. And then it hasn't stopped. Whew.
Awfully close.
Well, you got to be swinging the bat if you're a hitter, I would think.
Now a full count to Karp. Another note on that Seattle 9-run third inning. Their previous high for an inning this year was 6 runs at Detroit back on April 27th. Karp checks his swing, but he's called out on strikes. First strikeout for Herman. 4th strikeout for Indians pitching, and 1 out here for Seattle in the 6th. All right, let's get a look at the answer to our AT&T trivia question for today. Former Indian shortstop struck out just 114 times in over 7,000 at-bats in his Hall of Fame career.
Big Al, you got it?
I don't have it. I thought I did, but now I think about it.
Well, who are you going to say?
What? I was going to say Lou Boudreau.
Okay.
I had to go back even further than that.
That's a man that can make contact. 114 times in 7,000 ABs.
And you've talked about, Rick, how when you were coming up, it was stressed that strikeouts are bad. You need to put the ball in play. I just don't think that's stressed anymore like it was 25, 30, 40 years ago.
No, because the long ball, when we went through that era where everybody, they wanted 3-run home runs.
A grounder up the middle by Olivo will find a hole. That's a single. 12th hit of the day for the Mariners. Or rather, check that, 10th hit of the day for the Mariners.
He joins the party finally. He was 0 for 3 before that hit.
So here's some more info for you on Joe Sewell. He replaced Ray Chapman back in 1920, the year the Indians won their first World Series. Look at that strikeout.
Every
second
73 at-bats.
And 150.
Yeah, that's
well, amazing.
I mean, you'll never see that ever again. Nowadays, usually a batter, the guys that are best in the league are going about 15 at-bats before they get a strikeout. And that's, tops in the league like your Juan Pierre or your A.J. Pierzynski and guys like that.
Kyle Seager with a foul ball, strike 1. Well, is there anything that you ever see, Rick, that will return the game to a period where, at the very least, you're looking to make more contact? Or do you think
it should? I think some of the Indians players, it used to be where if you're a home run hitter, you better hit 30 or 40 home runs if you were going to strike out, your 100, 150 times. You've got little guys now that don't drive the ball, don't hit home runs, that strike out well over 100, 125, 150 times, and they should put the ball in play because you just have a better opportunity. You help your team more if you put it in play at certain times.
And Seager with the base hit up the middle. That's his second hit of the day. So now Seattle with runners at first and second and one out here in the sixth inning.
There you go. There you go. One every 17. There's Juan Pierre, Reyes, 14. Polanco. Now that's the one that's surprising right there. Albert Pujols, once every 11, because he's a home run hitter. So he finds a way to put it in play. I mean, there's other guys that, that are going to hit, 5, 6, 7, 8 home runs. That'll strike out more than that. That shouldn't happen. But that's the best in today's game.
And 4 out of the top 5 there, National Leaguers. And Juan Pierre played in the National League. Strike one here to Willie Mo Pena, who has walked all 3 times he's been to the plate today. But you talk about a different brand of baseball in the National League, and they do look to put it in play a little bit more, a little more hit and run, so probably something to that.
Well, yeah, the DH, you have the extra hitter, so the American League, they bunt less, as far as sacrifices go. They will sit back and rely on the home run ball now, but it's changing. It's slowly changing because you're losing those DHs that strictly just flat out hit. I guess the steroid era or whatever you want to call it, that one era in baseball where they scored so many runs, it's starting to get back to where pitchers are having their way.
Frank Herman in his first inning of relief here. Third Indians pitcher of the day. And Pena lines that one up the middle. That's a base hit. Here comes Olivo. He'll score. Over to third goes Seager, and Willie Mo Pena with the RBI single. It's now 12-6 Seattle.
There's a fastball middle of the plate.
And Pena with his 8th RBI for the Seattle Mariners, and now Seattle 3 straight singles after Mike Hart began the inning with a strikeout. Here's Alex Liddy. He hit his first major league homer to get Seattle on the board back in the second inning. It was a 2-run shot at the time to make it 3-2 Indians. Liddy today 2 for 3. Two and 0 to Liddy. Mariners now with 12 runs on 11 hits. The Indians with 6 runs on 10. That's the only game for Seattle this week against the Tribe. Chicago in town to open up a series tomorrow with a doubleheader.
Yeah, they're already in town. They're spending the off day here.
Foul back. That'll make the seats. Games at 1 and 7 tomorrow. Both of them here on Sports Time Ohio. Then Wednesday and Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Then Minnesota in town this weekend. Jim Thome night on Friday. It's a 7:05 start. Day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Those games again at 1 and 7. Then Sunday at 1, the final home game of the year. There's a ground ball to short. Cabrera flips to Donald for 1. On to first, and a double play. And Frank Herman gets out of the inning without any further damage. But the Mariners add another run. They're up 12-6 as we head to the bottom of the 6th here in downtown Cleveland. Tribe down by half a dozen. It'll be hitters 8, 9, and 1. Chisenhall, Marson, and Fukudome against a new pitcher for Seattle. Josh Lukey comes in from the pen.
Lukey appearing for the 23rd time this year. He has pitched in 26 innings, has 23 punch-outs.
Lonnie Chisenhall 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. And strike one on the outside corner.
So Charlie Furbush today, 5 innings, gave up 10 hits, 6 runs, punched out 8, gave up a couple of home runs, and he's in line for a win. He did walk 1.
It's into the seats on the foul ball. 1 and 2 now to Lonnie Chisenhall. I guess Charlie Furbush had serendipity on the day he pitched here, giving up 6 runs in 5 innings. Generally, that doesn't leave you in line for the win when you exit.
Well, it's all a matter of when you pitch. Little help from your friends there. And offensively, he has had some help today. Another strikeout.
And Chisenhall tagged out. 9th strikeout for Mariners pitching today. Let's take a look now at our Miller Taste Greatness moment. Manny Ramirez back in 1988 hit his 8th, 98, beg your pardon, hit his 8th home run in 5 games. Manny on fire.
Look at him go down there, and yeah, he could get hot and he could hit him with the best of them.
It's our Miller Taste Greatness moment as Lou Marson steps in, but it's that one foul. He was 16 in 1988. Could have been doing that in high school. But Manny Ramirez, Rick, clearly one of the best right-handed hitters of his generation, if not the best. Marson 0 for 2 today. Another foul into the seats. Nick Hagedorn getting loose. And strike 3 called on Lou Marson. 10th time the Indians have struck out today. And 2 straight Ks now for Lukey. Well, Alexis Berea Report returns to Sports Time Ohio tonight at 9. Andre Knott, Tony Grossi, Doug Deacon will provide all the news from Berea. That's the Alexis Berea Report tonight at 9. It's right here on Sports Time Ohio. So plenty of Browns programming for you tonight. Plenty of good things to talk about with that win over the Colts yesterday. Well, Kosuke Fukudome, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He's down 0-1 here. Fukudome, another guy, Rick, that's done a nice job for the Indians since the trade, who will be a free agent. Is there any chance the Indians might re-sign him next year?
Well, there's always a chance. You have to wait and see. There's other things they have to do. You mentioned Grady becoming a free agent. There's a number of things they could do.
Fukudome retired there 4-3. Quick inning for the Mariners as the Tribe goes 1-2-3. We go to the 7th. Seattle up 12-6.
lot of baseball. 9 games in the next 7 days. Make sure you come out this weekend. The Minnesota Twins will be in town. We've got a doubleheader on Saturday, September 23rd. The first game at 1 o'clock. All the kids can get in for free with mom and dad, so bring them on out here. And stay for the second game at 7 o'clock. We've got the last fireworks show of the year set to Star Wars theme music. We'll even have some Star Wars character Darth Vader walking around. You can meet him throughout the stands. If you don't have your tickets yet, go online to Indians.com and get them. You can get them as low as $8 right now. Al, Rick, we'll send it back up to you guys for now.
Boy, some great deals, Katie. Kids free on Saturday. We ought to take advantage of that. Some great deals all season long for Tribe fans. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Nick Hagedorn is the new Indians pitcher. And Trevor Crow has entered the game. He'll play center field. He replaces Grady Sizemore.
Yeah, it's been that slight drizzle and going all game long. So in between every inning, the ground crew is out there spreading that diamond dust. They have had their work cut out for them today.
And Robinson hits that one foul. Yeah, Brandon Kenke and his crew have done a tremendous job. Still just that slight mist falling. You can see the diamond dust you were talking about there, Rick. And it's a lot of work to spread that out there. You only have a couple of minutes between innings, if that.
They do a good job. Well, they've had a lot of practice at it this year. It's been a damp, wet spring, summer, slash, you name it. I mean, there's been a lot of delays. This is a makeup game from April, so those guys, look, we're not looking at you. Just wave, boys. Smile and wave. We're talking good about you.
Swing and a miss for Robinson. 1-2 now to Trayvon Robinson.
They do. They earn their money, boy.
Yes,
on their
do.
Nights where they may pull that tarp out 2, 3, 4 times a game and have to empty it, and it is not an easy thing to do, but they do a terrific job.
Yes, indeed. And a swing and a miss for Robinson. So he's down on strikes. Nick Hagedorn, his first K, and the 5th strikeout today for Indians pitching. 1 out in the 7th.
Well, you just go right at him. That good fastball. He challenged him, throws it by him. You see the location. That was on our Time Warner Cable pitch tracker, and gets his strikeout. I told you, these two teams, the Mariners leading the way when it comes to strikeouts in the league, and the Indians not far behind.
Chris Jimenez 0 for 2 with the walk, and you mentioned that stat, Rick. And last inning we were talking about how there's many more strikeouts now than there were some years ago in Major League Baseball. With the Mariners striking out that much, they're also a team that's offensively challenged.
Well,
so there's something to what you're saying about all these strikeouts. They do hurt you more than putting the ball in play and making the fielders make the play.
Well, Seattle, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for some more offense, and they've gone with a lot of their younger players. They're a team built on pitching, and they're looking for offense. And with young players, you're going to get strikeouts to begin with. You know, they don't like to walk much. They're 13th in the league in walks, second least in the league. So, you know, they don't work the counts. They get aggressive early, and a lot of times young players will swing and miss until they get acclimated to the league. They get to know the pitchers. It takes a while, and you have to have patience. And who better to have patience than Eric Wedge over there in Seattle?
Jimenez hits that one high in the air to medium deep right. Fukudome makes the catch. Second out here in the 7th inning. So Jimenez 0 for 3. We'll go back to the top of the order. Ichiro Suzuki 2 for 4 with a single and a double for the Mariners' leadoff man. You know, he was dating in Japan one of their popular sports anchors, and he was like a movie star would be in Japan. So in order for them to go out on a date, they had to find creative ways to sneak him around so they could go out and have a quiet dinner. One of the ways was they rolled him up in a carpet, apparently, and put him in the back of a pickup truck and then zoomed him past a crowd to get him to his date. It's a lot of effort.
What was he dating, a vacuum? He's sitting there in a carpet.
I figured you'd have a retort.
Well, I'm thinking, how do you know this?
Well, I read a story
Were
about
you meeting them or something for dinner?
2-0 to Suzuki.
I read that. Do you believe everything you read?
Yeah, it was by one of the papers there in Japan.
The rug. Boy, that's being famous right there.
That is. 2-1 now. You never had to do that?
No, not me.
Okay.
Never been that big, never will be.
I don't know. How about you and Super Joe back in 1980?
No, not me. Maybe Super Joe, not me. We used to hide Super Joe in the rug anyway. It didn't matter.
Chisenhall with a nifty play. He guns out Ichiro, and the Mariners retired 1-2-3 here in the 7th inning. We go to the bottom half. Time now for the Cleveland Clinic 7th inning stretch. Indians fans, it's time for you to get up and move it.
Overlooking Heritage Park out in Progressive Field. Nice shot, although it's a little gray and it's a little cloudy today.
Randy and D looking in at Heritage Park from our Panini Scam. Like Panini's franchise group on Facebook for your chance to win giveaways and prizes. Bottom of the 7th inning on a rainy day. Indians down 12-6, looking for some runs here. It'll be Donald, Cabrera, and Santana. Hitters 2, 3, and 4 in the Indians lineup. Jason Donald, 2 for 3 today with a couple of singles and a couple of runs scored. Josh Lukey working into his 2nd inning of relief. And Donald cracks that one to left. 3rd hit of the day for Jason Donald. And the Indians have their leadoff man aboard here in the 7th inning.
Well, he likes the fastball, and he gets one here, and he does a little damage to it. Finds the hole. Fastball right there. Lukey left that ball middle of the plate. So now Jason Donald has 3 hits, along with Cabrera has 3 hits. So the boys that have done the damage are coming up to the plate right now in this 7th inning.
And Asdrubal, who's a triple away from the cycle, will bat here. With Donald on first and nobody out in the 7th. Cabrera, a home run in the 1st inning, a double in the 2nd, a single in the 5th.
Well, this would be the day you can get a triple if you can get the ball to the gap out there, and hopefully one of those guys can slip on the wet turf. This is not a very good triples ballpark, and it hasn't been in the history.
Well, pretty much what you said. You kind of need something strange to happen to get a triple here in this park. One and two now to Asdrubal Cabrera. Had 4 hits the other day in Minnesota. Now 3 hits here today.
Yeah, he needed them. He really needed them.
It's that one to first. Karp will go to second. They get Donald there, back to first, and in time for the double play. Nicely turned by Mike Karp and the Seattle Mariners.
Yep, that's done by design. He wasn't far off of first base, so Karp gets the ball over to Rodriguez, and the quick relay back goes as a 3-6-3 double play. Turns to the inside, gave him the throw. Rodriguez right back, and they get Cabrera at first base. That's the double play ball that they needed.
So Santana will bat with 2 outs and nobody on here in the 7th. He homered back in the first inning as well as Cabrera and Santana went back to back and doubled in the 5th inning. Santana these last couple of months, Rick, has really improved at the plate. What do you see as the difference now versus early in the season?
Well, he's quieter at the plate. He's not swinging as violently. You know, one time when he hit that the couple home runs in Texas, he fouled the ball off his leg, and they said it was better because he wasn't, getting so much movement. He had to really stay soft on that front foot. That swing today he took with that double down the line up from the right side of the plate, he's been using more of the opposite field. And when he gets it, and he's going to become a much better average hitter to go along with the great power that he has, because I don't think there's anybody on this team that barrels the ball up as well as Santana does. I don't care who you're talking about on this ball club. He finds a way to get in the good part of the bat on the ball when he slows it down.
2-2. And the patience he shows at the plate for a young hitter, he takes a lot of pitches on a team that really doesn't.
Right. I mean, he has his times. He will strike out a lot, but the one good thing, even though he strikes out, he walks a lot. This is an Indians team that doesn't walk a lot, and they strike out a lot. So when you can at least get on base at times, and he'll chase at that time and go down.
So Santana, strikeout victim. Indians retired here in the 7th. We'll go to the 8th. 12-6 Mariners. rain delay here in the top half of the 8th inning, with the Mariners leading this one 12-6. Well, let's take a look at today's box score, brought to you by our Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. And for the Mariners today, only Rodriguez and Jimenez haven't joined in the hit parade. The Seattle Mariners hit the ball well, putting up those 12 runs, and they lead it here 12-6. So the Tarp has come back onto the field. It was on earlier today, but we didn't have a delay until right now. So rain delay, top of the 8th inning. We will go to our rain delay programming, Tee It Up Ohio. The latest episode from them coming up next, and then we'll be back with you to update you on just a little bit here at Progressive Field. 12-6, Mariners have the lead. Rain delay, 8th inning in downtown Cleveland.